Hello, everybody. This is the one and only Mr. LP Steven Sykes, host of Enliven Radio, and we are here with another edition to our Empowered Women series. And I have a lovely and very powerful woman right here, and I'm going to let her introduce herself so she can say the name correctly because I'm prone to mispronounce names. What is your name, young lady?
My name is Trisca Steele.
Hello, Miss Trisca Scale. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
All right, and then those for the who know you from a previous name, what is your middle name or name, maiden name?
Waller. Just
Waller.
go Waller. Yeah.
Okay, bravo. So how you doing today?
I'm good. Tired, but I'm good.
So see, that's what happens when you count your millions of dollars and everything else.
I wish.
No problem. Well, first off, I want to thank you and the viewers for joining us in Empower Women series. It's going great, and you've always been one of the people I wanted to get on this series because when I first started about it, I had a list of names, and you were always on it, and I'm glad I was able to catch you when I can because I know you've
Thank
always
you for
been.
thinking about me and having me.
No
Thank you.
problem. Well, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Martinsville, born and raised. Then I went to Norfolk State University, and I kind of just stayed in the Norfolk 757 community. So that's where I'm based at now, and that's pretty much where I'll probably reside until we retire.
Well, so tell us about a little bit about Martinsville from your view. Like, where did you, or what part of Martinsville did you grow up, or and things like that?
Oh, Martinsville is the country. It's amazing that more people have heard of Danville and all of the communities around it. And it's like, what is Martinsville? I'm like, how do you know about Danville and not Martinsville? But anyway, it's a small little town that's like right on the borderline of North Carolina. That's what I always tell people. Then they're like, oh, it's near North Carolina. Okay, it's fine then. I'm just, but yeah, it's a small little town, Southwest Virginia. And I stayed in Axton, so I really couldn't even take credit for Martinsville. I was living in Axton, and that made it even worse. I'm like, I'm from Martinsville, so we'll just keep it at Martinsville.
You were part of the Longtown community, I was, weren't you?
No,
No.
not quite. We were actually located like behind birds.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So in that area, so we were right in between Logtown and the actual city. So it's like right there in between. So, like I said, Axton was about this big. So,
So tell us a little bit about growing up as a young black woman in the area, and especially going through high school. What was it like for you?
well, I grew up in a single family home. My mom, my brother, and myself. And, it is. We struggled, but we made it through. We lived in a smaller area, and she did the best she could to raising us. And I think she did a very good job because we are where we are now. And I'm blessed and I'm thankful and just grateful that I had the parent that I had.
When you grow up in a single parent home, especially in a small town where everybody knows each other and things are a little bit difficult, did you find it easier to have a positive influence from a male, finding positive male images and role models?
I don't think so. I think that I kind of struggled a lot with finding the right role models or male models to be in my life. My dad was absent for a while. We have reconnected since then, and everything is great. But as a child, it's a lot harder, especially for a young woman, not to have a father around because that's the person who's supposed to love you first. So without that role being there, you're trying to find the resources and the love from somewhere else, and a lot of times you find it in the wrong places. But thankfully, got back on track, and by grace, I'm where I am today, and I'm happy. I have a beautiful life, a beautiful family. So, you learn from experience, so you continue on, and hopefully now my daughters have an active father in their life, and they are given the love and care that I didn't have, but I see a difference in their lives that I'm so appreciative of because they have that father in their life and they have that role model.
Do you find that when you were growing up, let's say as a teenager and as a young woman, what were some of the mistakes, for whatever you feel comfortable going to that, or typical mistakes you see that young women make in trying to find a comparison of what that love is supposed to be?
Well, I think you find yourself in relationships that are not good for you. And you find yourself being around people that are not, good to be around. And, you look for love in any fashion that someone's going to give it to you. So it's like it may not even be the right type of love that you need in your life. And, I've had really bad experiences with relationships, and, there's a lot that I can go into, but I'll just say that, I've looked for love in the wrong places and made mistakes. But, I was able to bounce back from them and continue on and, go off to school. And my whole thing was, Martinsville was okay, but I just couldn't wait to leave. That was my whole thing. I had to get away. And it was like when I got away, I just didn't look back. I didn't care to look back. And that was it. I'll go back to visit my family. But, it was just so many bad memories left that I would rather just stay away.
When you were going through high school, first of all, let us know where middle and high school you went to, and what was your experiences throughout that time?
Oh man, high school was fun. Who doesn't like high school? But high school.
What's the name of the school?
Oh, I went to Laurel Park.
Oh, Laurel Park. Oh, gee, that's a very good school.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, that should be a law. But we that's another day, another show.
I'll tell you, I can't believe they got rid of that school. Of all of the schools there, they're gonna get rid of that one and make it into a middle school. But that's a different story. But did track, choir, did basketball, but I wasn't good at it. So it was better than us stay at track.
What kind of what good of an athlete were you in school? Would you say in terms of track? How well did you do? I know the answer.
Track, I was probably one of the fastest in the area. So it wasn't too many people that could beat me. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. I'm not gonna gloat too much, but I was pretty good in track.
Should we call out any names that you beat or anything, or you just want to?
I'll just leave it at that. People know.
People know. Okay. And you mentioned singing, which is, I believe, I tip my hand that you have a very beautiful voice. What got you? How long have you been singing, by the way?
I've been singing probably since I was 4. I grew up in a musically inclined family. My grandmother sings, my mom sings, my aunt sings. So music has always been around me, and it just was easy to pick up. And just been singing ever since. Ever since I could talk, I've been singing.
Do you feel, where do you get your inspiration in singing? Like, who was maybe in your family or someone around you that kept you the encouragement around you to continue to sing?
Probably my mom. My mom just, I've seen her struggle so much, but she always would find a hum and something that would encourage her. And I see that she got her encouragement a lot from music and singing. So, that pretty much saw me and it saw me through, and hearing her sing so much. And then it's just something that I picked up, and I found that I had so much encouragement getting out of music. So, when I'm in my darkest place, I know that I can always go and sing or write or do whatever, but it always comes back to music.
Do you play another instrument to go with your singing, or you just sing for right now?
No, not really. I think in college I, took piano, but I was never good at it. So we just stick straight to singing. Yeah.
And singing, when you left high school, and overall high school was a good experience for you. When you went to Norfolk State.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to go to Norfolk State?
I guess it was just not too far from home, but far away where no one could just pop up on me. And plus I always wanted to go to a historically black college. That's just something I always wanted to do. And, went, checked out the campus, and I had a couple of cousins and friends that was there too. So it kind of just made it easy to transition in. So I just found myself at Norfolk State and loved it.
What did you take up, and what degree did you obtain?
And I have a degree in music.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What other activities did you do while you was in Norfolk State? Or do we need to call somebody and get some names and information?
Well, I did choir, participated in believe it or not, I was in Miss Norfolk State University, and I got second place.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, we need to. I don't know. Oh man, that's just wrong. Okay, whew, I'm gonna let
yeah.
that go.
Yeah, it was something, but yeah, I got swindled. Some of my friends talked me into doing it, and went ahead and did the pageant. So I wasn't a pageant person, so this was something new for me. So to a place, I was like, oh, that's pretty good for me because I've never done it before. But it is what it is.
Well, you've always been a woman that's always willing to stand up and speak up. So how is
Hmm.
a Pat and you've never been shy, not just the singing aspect, but if you had if you had something to say, you would say it.
Hmm.
Why would a pageant cause you of all people trouble?
You know what? Because I guess of the poise and all of this, and it was just like I wasn't that girly girl type of person. So it was like for me to be caught up in a nice long gown, it was like, ooh, this is just too much. And to spend all that money on just for one day. We're talking about a person who just wanted to go to the Justice of the Peace for a wedding. I was content with that. So, but ended up having a big wedding. But I just never really had to have this extravagant thing around me. So it was like I didn't see myself, I guess, as the princess bougie extravagant type of person that normally is in the pageants. And I was like, this is just not me. But I ended up having fun. I met a lot of great ladies, and it was like something I'm like, I could have did this before, but I just never saw myself in that light to do it.
So I'll be sure to tell everybody I know in pageants that Trisca Steele says you're bougie. Is that what you?
Well, that's just the way I looked at it because that's from the outside looking in. But as I actually participated, you actually find yourself being around some good, nice, settled, humble ladies, and it's like, wow, I could have did this a long time ago, but just never saw myself in that light.
Now that you graduated from Norfolk State, okay,
Hmm.
and you got some years in between then and now, a few years, not a lot. And so, what took you? You said, okay, I got my music degree. I decided not to go necessarily for my master's. What took you? What was your next step? Did you decide to get married then, or did you just decide to pursue a career in singing, get a record contract? What was your next step? Your thought process?
Well, my next step really, I had my first daughter. So it was like in between there, I had my first daughter and I met my now husband.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's like, I really haven't did much throughout that time frame. I gig a lot now. Well, I was gigging a lot then with the band that one of my professors had. So that was pretty much what kept food on the table for myself. And I gigged pretty much from Wednesday up until Sunday. So that's pretty much all I was doing throughout that time frame. And after I got married, I became the stay-at-home mom. I'll substitute every now and then. So, I'm just getting back into the swing of things now to get back to gigging. So I'll gig now every now and then. So.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. You met your husband.
Hmm.
How was that like?
It was funny. I actually met him at a gig. I was singing. And,
So he put enough
but
money on the table, and you decided to.
and I met him. I was singing, and one of his uncles came over, or one of his play uncles came over, and was like, "I got somebody for you to meet." I think that I think he told my husband, "I think I found your wife." So he came and got me and introduced me, and right then I was still in between, bad relationship, just had a baby, so it was like, hi, how are you? But I'm really not digging no relationship right now. I'm trying to get myself back together. But what God has for you and what God put in your life, it's gonna happen, and it's meant to be if it's for you. So we ended up kicking it from there and just became good friends, and now he's my husband.
How is what type of role does he play in towards your music in terms of support? Because one of the things you see in TV or a variety of stories is just women in careers. They don't usually have good partners, either the husband and boyfriends or fathers, uncles, brothers, cousins. The male figure sometimes are not very involved in the woman's career. They want you to be involved in them to support them and boost them up. But when it comes your time, Not many men are willing to put their ego, the sphere of money, control, whatever the case may be, to the side. What kind of role did your husband play for you?
He is so supportive. He just loves to come and hear me sing. So, I mean, that's where he met me. He knew what I was all about from the beginning. So, I mean, as far as support, he's like, go ahead, do the gig. Can I come? So he's probably one of the most supportive people I've ever met, and I'm so blessed to have him. But as far as like my career, he's all about pushing me forward. He wants to see me succeed, and he's at every gig that he can be at. If we got a sitter, he's there with me. So yeah, as far as support, I get it 100% from him.
Well, how does your family feel about your singing at this present time?
They are, it is what it is. I'm grown. So it's just like, oh, you're gigging? Okay, well, have a good gig. So it's like, my mom has always wanted to see me succeed. Unfortunately, things doesn't work out where you get to the level that you want to be. But, what God, like I said, what God has for you, it is for you. And it may not be in your particular time that you want it. So he'll give it to you when you need it. So right now, I'm just waiting to see how it plays out.
What's the level that you want to see? Like, if right now, if I walk in the door in a music store or turn on my computer, what level is Trisca W Steele is supposed to be?
You know what? At this point, with age, I would just like to see myself performing, gigging, doing a nice jazz album, performing at. I would love to have my own nightclub where I can actually have nice soul food and a nice jazz, stage platform, and I could perform there every night, and that I would be content. That would be the type of dream that I would like to have right now.
You don't want to travel around the world, sell 5 million albums, and
that's great too. But I have a family to worry about. I got young girls that I don't want to be absent from their life. So if I would rather be local right now until I can get them at a certain point. But if it's a gig every now and then and I could travel overseas or, in the States, I'll do that too. But as far as living a life on the road right now, that's not what I want to do because I don't want to be absent out of my kids' life.
How has this, your position now, besides being a stay-at-home mother, how does this position as a singer, a professional singer, give the change that it brought to your daughter's lives and just in your family life overall for your children? What type of inspiration, what are you trying to express to them that you hope they can take to the next level when you're gone?
Well, right now we are all about grades and academics. So, my girls, they bust their tail. They do what they have to do. They're straight A students. So, that's the foundation we're laying right now. If they want to pursue music later, so be it. But right now, you have to have that foundation, which is your education. That's something no one can take away from. And, if we want you to go to college, we want you to go for free. So we got to start from the bottom. You got to make sure you're on point. So that's the foundation we're laying right now in their life. We want education. We express education is the most important thing. So music, they can play around with it. But right now, it's all about those grades.
Steele Scholarship Foundation is not in effect right now. Okay.
We're making sure they can go for free. Yeah.
But how did one of my biggest things, and you know this, but I'm an employer education, but one of my biggest things is that they've always took certain things I felt that helped your major things. One of those things was always gym and other things, but another thing was always music, whether you played in a band or you sang. We grew up in a time where, and a lot of people obviously, that you were required to take 2 years and you could go on. And then before that, you had to take all 4 years in music or music theory, art, or singing. Mm-hmm. How did that help you education-wise growing up? And how do you feel that's going to help your children? Although they're straight A students, do you feel that the music aspect in their lives or what you're providing is helping them music in their academic lives?
They sing a little bit, but they really haven't expressed as much interest into music. They know that I do it, but it's like, my thing is if you're going to start something, you have to finish it. So, they sing in the choir at church, and a lot of times I'm like, well, we don't want to go. We really don't feel like. I'm like, look, if you're going to be a part of it, then you have to participate. So my whole thing is it's making it so, it's discipline. If you're going to participate in something, you're going to stick to it until it's complete. Right now, I don't think that they really, I guess, want to do music as much as I did when I was that age.
How did music help you education-wise?
Oh, I think with music, it made me slack on education.
That's really strange. You usually hear the opposite.
Yeah, I think that, for me, especially going off to college, I looked at it as though going into a music program, oh, I can sing, I'm good at music. It's going to be easy. I don't really have to challenge myself. And that was probably one of the worst mistakes I could have made, because it was so much more that I could have done that I wish I would have done that I regret now. Certain, I guess, fields that I would have rather have went into, because I always had music. I would always be able to sing, and I didn't have a backup plan. Mm-hmm. So as a result, here I am now. I have a music degree really with nothing to do with it. And it's just, I just felt like had I had a plan B and did something different outside of the box instead of just sticking to something that I was comfortable with because I was lazy, then it would have been a lot better for me. Like, I would have rather had went into a physician assistant program now that I look back, but I did music because it was easy and because I knew I was good at it.
If you didn't have, you mentioned physician assistant, if you wasn't doing music, okay, let's say you had to go out, barring that you already had whatever education needed. If you didn't do music, you had to go outside to do a 9 to 5, what would you do?
I would like to do something in the medical field. I would love to be a physician assistant, like I said, but now it's like to go back to school and be able to do that another 4.5 years. It's like you got a family, you got this, you got that, and it's like I know you could do it, but it's just like to be able to just step out on faith and actually do it. And like I said, with 3 kids, it's hard. So.
What type of music are you singing? You mentioned jazz. What type of music do you sing on your gigs? Is it rock, country, jazz?
I do a lot of jazz and a lot of R&B. So it's more of a laid-back venue, mostly at restaurants where they're serving food and, like it's a laid-back environment. So it's no rock or anything like that. So it's just laid-back jazz and, pretty much that's the type of music and the type of field that I would be in now.
What, if you could do another genre of music that you would like to do a challenge in, what would that challenge be?
Probably country. I love country music. Just, the storytelling and, it's songs that are timeless and, they will be around for a long time. And it's songs that can actually be redone in any other genre. So I think that country would probably be one of the genres that I would love to channel and see where I could take it. But, right now I'm just sticking with my jazz and R&B.
Have you gotten into the writing aspect? You mentioned you're not very good with the instrument aspect, but have you gotten into the writing of your own music?
Oh yeah, I write a lot. I'm more of a melodic writer, so a lot of times I like for people to come and make a track around me. So a lot of times I'll already go ahead and write out the melody, the lyrics and everything of the song. And I would love for you to build the track around what I've already did.
So the content before the music base behind it. Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. Where do you sing at down there? You mentioned that you're in Norfolk based area. Where do you sing at now mostly? Or do you have a specific place that you, like every Friday night, no matter what, we could find Trisca at?
Well, right now, every now and then I'm at Deja Blue. It's in Virginia Beach. It's on the ocean front. So I'll be there on New Year's Eve to bring in the new year. And a lot of times it's more of a private type setting. And I sing every Sunday at church. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. So I'm trying to build that up. I just had a baby. So.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. She's 6 weeks, so we're trying to build back up the gigs, but they'll come.
Did you sing until your water break, or you took some time off?
Well, I probably stopped. I did my last gig at probably 6 months.
Okay.
So it was like once I got the wobble, it was like time to give it up. I was like, I can't stand, my feet are swollen, so let me go ahead and take a break right now. But
How,
yeah.
how is it for a lot of the women out there that's always doing variety of things, not necessarily singing and family, but in just careers, balancing careers, family, and a bunch of other different challenges. What was the challenge in you already have two? You decide to you and your husband decide to have another wonderful addition to your family. How was it balancing all these different aspects? You have Trisca, the wife, Trisca, the family, the mother, Trisca, the singer, Trisca, all these other different things. How was that a balance for you?
You know what? You just have to play it like it is. At whatever moment you're presented, you roll with it. I know I just always have to take a little time to, whether it's just to go sit in the bathroom and take a breather for myself. But you just play the cards you dealt. If it's time to be the role for the wife, then that was the time. If it was time to be the soccer mom, then I'm that. But for the most part, it was you take it as it goes. Whatever is presented to you at that moment, that's how you react.
How much are you like your mother now that you said you were not going to be when you got older?
You know, um, I guess I guess we're two different people, because there was so many things that I said I would never be, because a lot of times I did see a struggle. But now that I look back, it's like that made her the stronger woman that she is today. And it's like I wish I was more like her, in certain aspects. She's strong, she's a fighter, and she doesn't give up. And by any means necessary, she's going to make sure her kids are taken care of. And I think I get that most from her, to make sure that my kids always come first and they always taken care of. If I have to go without, and I seen her go without, so me and my brother could have, that's probably the one thing that I did take from her. And that's probably one of the best things a person could take from her, just a survivor aspect, and to know that you're not going to give up by any means necessary, especially when you got kids that you got to take care of.
Well, there's one aspect of your life that you feel that everybody feels they're not perfect in something. What is one thing about you that you wish that Trisca Steele could improve about herself?
Um, Probably expressing my emotions more. I guess I come off sometime as a dry person, or a very blunt, or a person who just, she just speaks how she feels, and, can sometimes I guess come off, rude to certain people who don't know me. So I guess I wish I had a better way of expressing my emotions, and in a positive light, as opposed to, being judged without anyone even knowing who I am.
And I find that puzzling, because I've always found you to be a joyful, easygoing, calm, not quick to get too high, not quick to get low, even keel person. What part of your life changed your view, or changed? We all grow, we all change, which is for the positive. But what part of your life, or at which point in your life, changed that for you?
Probably, college. It's just you go off to college, and especially when you're in a territory where I really didn't have a lot of family around me. I didn't have my mom. My dad wasn't here, so it's just, you had to make it about yourself, because if you don't fight for you and you don't care about you, nobody else is going to do it first for you. So it just became where I had to take care of me. So that's pretty much where that change came from, and it just stuck with me. So I guess it's a good change and a bad change, but I just wish that it comes across a little bit more positive, as opposed to what people think I am.
What have you tried into any of the competition shows, such as American Idol.
Yeah, yeah, I've done that. Been there, done that. And they're gimmicks, it's like it's all about if you want to just pretty much make a fool of yourself, that you can actually make it far in those places. And they're really not looking for talent. If they did, you would see these people and they actually stay around and still continue to succeed. So it's pretty much a gimmick. I've done American Idol. I did The Voice. So all of them pretty much are gimmicks. So it only takes me one time to see, oh, this is a gimmick, no more for me. So it's fun to watch, but as far as participating, no, not at all.
So are we going to look forward to a Trisca Waller Steele reality show?
Oh no, I don't think I could ever do anything like that.
You can have your own. You can have your own positive spin of the show.
But those are the shows that don't make it. People like drama. People like negativity. So unfortunately, you see these crazy folks acting on TV, but they have highest ratings because it's something to watch. And I even catch myself watching them because it's hilarious. But it's like no one really wants to see a positive life on TV. If they did, we would have more positive TV. But it's more about ratings and, who wants to watch a too good show? So if it doesn't have drama, fighting, cussing, then I don't see where it would even be successful. So no, I would never do the reality.
Could you sing us a little something right now?
Ooh. Oh goodness. Voice is still sleeping. Let's see.
I got $1 million contract. I got somebody with me said, you said she could sing. I want to see her sing right now. I got a contract right now, And
if it were that easy.
And so I got a guy who's sitting right across from me right now and says he got $1 million contract. I want to hear her sing. Go.
All right. Love of my life, you are sunlight, my shining stars. All of the world to me, all I could ever need. Lately I can feel you growing away from me. So inside I pray it's not too late to find a remedy. So I close my eyes as I go back in time where our love was wrong before our hearts went wrong. I'll keep holding on to how it used to be. So lay me down and take me to a dream.
I will walk to the store and pay $15 and all the pennies and dollars I could find. I'm not downloading your music. I'm fine. I'm just gonna go get you right now.
Well, thank you.
And everything. A couple of questions for you to keep you entertained and things. Who's your favorite singer? Who's your favorite? I'll make it harder for you. Who's your favorite singer now, and who's your all-time favorite singer?
One of my favorite singers is probably Kim Burrell. She's a gospel artist, but she does things with her voice that I didn't even think was possible. So she's probably my all-time favorite singer is Kim Burrell. Yeah.
Anybody you listen to right now that you really like?
Music right now, I normally stick to satellite radio because the radio, I just can't take it. All the commercials and all of this music that's really not about nothing. I like songs that are timeless, so I find myself either on the gospel station or the Soul Town station. So, I'm an old head. I like the old type music. So if it's something on the Motown station, I'm good. But if I had to have somebody that was current, I guess, I like old Beyonce. The new one that's out now, I'm not really a fan. I like when she sung and the music was about something. It doesn't have to be about sex and drugs and money. It was about music. It was love and, it was positive music. So I mean, it's really, really hard to say that I have somebody that is current that I'm really a fan of because music has just taken a turn for the worse. That's why I stay stuck in the old music because music today, it's awful.
Yes, it is. I agree with you. You mentioned Motown. Who's your favorite Motown acting song?
Oh, let's see. Hmm. Man, there's so many. Let's see who I find myself like in my CD player right now. I have the Motown Christmas.
Okay.
So I got Donna Ross on there. Love Smokey Robinson. You know, he's such a great songwriter. The music that he made was timeless, and you know he had such a sultry voice that I would love to see. And it's a voice that you could listen to today, and it's just as good as it was last. When he first came out. I love Stevie Wonder. So I mean, I like that type of genre because it's pretty much the music that it's timeless and it's stuck around, and if you hear it today, it still sounds as good as it did yesterday.
All right. Apple, Android.
You know what? I have I guess I don't know what this is. It's an HTC now, but we're about to get the upgrade, so I think I'm sticking with the Android because Apple, every time you got an update, and it's just like, that's just for the birds. Give me a phone and I don't have to do anything too. If you got to keep updating it every few minutes, it's a mess. So
smart lady. I knew you was a smart lady. You stay away from that Apple. What's your favorite clothes? Like if you had to get a nice pair of shoes, who's your favorite shoes? A clothes designer?
Oh, shoes. I'm a shoe fanatic too, so this should be easy. But now, at this point in my life, I find whatever's on sale. So whatever's on sale, that's good for me.
So you're a Payless girl.
Don't sell it.
I'm sorry. Say the last part of what you were saying again. I apologize.
I said if it's on sale and it looks good and fits, then it's for me.
All right.
That's pretty much where I am in my life now. So name brands and everything that left when you had kids.
So you're not a Payless girl with marked down shoes and sneakers. You can work with that.
No, I'm not gonna go down. I can't do that yet. But I'll go at Macy's on their one-day sale and pick up a nice pair of boots.
What is your favorite TV show right now?
Scandal. I'm a gladiator, so that's probably, I'm going through withdrawal now because they don't come back to February. So Scandal is probably one of the best shows that I've ever seen, and I'm locked in there every Thursday. So
don't you think it's a little over the top, or are you just happy for it right now?
It's entertainment. I guess it came with a lot of conflict because people glorify, this woman is sleeping with someone else's husband, which, most people would not tolerate that. But it's entertainment. It is what it is. It's something to watch, and, just so happened it's about that. But I do like to watch the show.
What is your favorite show that you have to watch with your children?
Anything on Disney. And right now we're in the Home Alone phase. So all of the Home Alones have been playing every day just about. So Home Alone 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so they're in the tweens.
One of them, so I have a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a newborn. So the 10-year-old, she's in the tween section. So she's more of finding herself off alone or on the iPad. So, my 5-year-old, she'll come and sit up with me and we'll watch cartoons together.
Is she 10 going on 25, or is she 10 going on 11?
No, you know what? She's a true 10-year-old. I do see where she likes her time to herself now. So I guess we're starting to hit puberty. But I mean, I can honestly say she's a humble, smart, great little girl that I cannot complain about. She's definitely a blessing, and she's a great help, a great big sister. So yeah, I will not let my kids at the age that is not appropriate. Not gonna happen.
So you have no problem with beating your kids?
I don't beat them. I'll give them that look. So give you that look, you already know. Okay. And that's one good thing I can say. I don't have to beat my kids. I give them that look, and they already know. My father-in-law is like, "Oh, there go the looks."
You've kept them in line from the jump, and
Yeah,
you don't have any problems.
absolutely.
All
Yes.
right. What's your guilty pleasure? Like you watch it, but you know you should not be.
Probably Duck Dynasty. I find myself watching that, and my mom here recently had me watching Pawn Stars. So it's like, wow, am I watching this? But I find myself, it's so entertaining. And it's like, wow, where do these people get this weird stuff that they taking to get it pawned? So I find myself watching that, and I even got my husband watching them now. So it's that's our guilty pleasure.
What is your favorite color?
Pink and green. I have to have my pink and green.
Where would you like to sing that you have not sung at yet?
Ooh, I would love to sing at the Madison Square Garden to a sold out crowd.
There you go.
Love it. Love it.
How about the Philharmonic, Lord Jesus, Lord, I just mispronounced the name. The New York Symphony Philharmonic Opera or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, anything to that magnitude, yeah, definitely. But, a dream, and I would love to sing like the opening anthem at the Olympics. That's always been a dream of mine since I was younger.
What favorite country you would like to visit?
Probably Italy. I'd love to go check out Italy.
Favorite city?
Mm,
Obviously not Martinsville or Axton.
no. You know what? I guess I've been there before, but it's a nice. I love Hollywood and California area. So that whole area was great to me. I enjoyed it. It's a lot of tourists, and I would love for my family to go and see it.
What kind of car do you driving now? But what kind of car is in your head that you're driving?
Ooh, I drive Honda Pilot now. But I can honestly say that I love my Honda Pilot because it's spacious, it's great on gas, and we've had nice, well, all cars are nice, but we've had cars that had a big name, but it's like they're gas guzzlers. So it's like this day and age, it's like would rather have that extra money just put in groceries as opposed to filling my tank every week for almost $200. So give me my Pilot. I'm content with my Pilot. Yes.
Favorite food?
I love Italian food. So I love lasagna, garlic bread. So anything with a tomato-based sauce, I'm in.
What would you say to, you are currently in your early 30s, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell Trisca Waller midway through her senior year right now, January 1997? What would you tell her right now?
I would tell her to sit down and act like you got some sense, study more, and have a plan B. That's one thing that I regret. I did not have a plan B. So it's harder to get a plan B when you're already in your 30s and you got kids and you have a husband. Have a plan B from the beginning. So if something doesn't go right in that, plan A, you always have something to fall back on. Regretfully, I didn't have that. So that's what I would tell myself, to have a plan B and to act like you got some sense, because, when you went off that young and you go off to school, you're cut up, you're doing everything because you're wild and out and you got freedom. So I would go back and tell myself, study in life is not about a party. It's about setting up things that's going to be beneficial for your kids and leaving a legacy behind. And, when you're starting off late to leave that legacy, it's so many years I've lost that I wish I had back to redo over. And I would just tell myself to prepare for those years a lot better than I did now.
What are you telling your 10-year-old right now to be careful of? I'm getting you with the questions, I know.
I would tell the 10-year-old that it's okay if you don't have your dad. You still have enough love around you that, it's going to make you a stronger woman. And, you know, just because you don't have a father doesn't mean you have to look for love in other places that's not for you.
Where do you see yourself, Trisca, at 50?
Hopefully, an empty nest. All of the kids are, if they're not gone, they're on their way. And probably, retired and or trying to get to that level and traveling a lot more. But, you know, it, right now, being a stay-at-home mom, I guess just that goal is having an empty nest when I get to 50. So I can't start to live because once you have kids, it's your life becomes theirs. So your life kind of goes on the back burner. So I guess when I'm 50, I'll have my life back to a certain extent.
Are you done with children, or are you looking to have more?
Oh, I'm done. I'm done. This is it for me. Yeah, I'm done. So we're gonna leave it at the three that we have.
What
Yeah.
what would you say, if anything, that you've got from where you at right now to a young woman who is going through some changes, who's, you mentioned this, to have a plan B and a variety of other different things, but what is one thing you would tell women out there, or just people in general, that other than having a plan B, that to be careful of, and what to look out for, what to prepare for?
You know what? And I had to learn this now, and it's so sad that I learned it late, but you pretty much have to step aside and let God take control of your life because everything you try to do things for you and try to do it for yourself, you find yourself making mistake after mistake after mistake. And it just came to a point where you hit rock bottom so hard, you have to just learn to let go and let God and know that what God has for you, it is for you. So for any young lady who finds themselves struggling, step aside. Maybe you're going in a direction that's not meant for you to go, and you need to go in a direction that God has for you. So I would say step aside, let go, and let God.
Okay. I thank you so very much, Miss Trisca Wallace Steele,
Thank
for
you.
a part of Enliven Radio, and when you empower women series, and when you do get your nightclub going, I would expect my seat to the side for free.
I will have a place for you.
Thank you very much, and I'll be more than happy to provide voiceover duties for you as well, free of charge, of course. And I'll just be grateful for the seat. I'll pay for the beer and wine and things like that. But
All right.
thank you very kindly and things, and make sure you, everybody, thank you very much for enjoying, taking the time out to listen, and we hope that you enjoy our empowerment series, and please look out for more of our series. We got a lot of more coming up this year in this series, and make sure you listen to Enliven Radio, part of Legacy Internet Radio. Our show is on Tuesdays from 7 to 9, and you can listen to us on legacyinternetradio.com, through the TuneIn application, and also on loudcity.com. I thank you very much, and everybody have fun. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email us at enlivenradio@gmail.com. And for those who's having trouble spelling, it's ENLIVEN radio, RADIO, at gmail.com. Thank you very kindly, and may y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Love, a word that comes and goes. But do people really know what it means to really love somebody? Oh, love, though the tears they fade away, I'm so glad your love will stay, 'cause you love me. Jesus, oh, what it really means to love. The nights that I cried, you loved me when I should have died. See